This is the Fjallraven Kanken number 2, and this is my honest review. Hey, this is Honest Reviews, and today we are looking at the Fjallraven Kanken number 2 backpack. This is sort of an upgraded version of that classic Kanken. We have a review of that one, but this one has a few little different features that might be very appealing to some. So we're going to talk about that. We'll go through the pros and cons and all the details of this one, and you can see if it's right for you. All right, so before I really dig into this bag, like I mentioned, it's a bit of an upgrade from that classic Kanken, which I do have here just to kind of give you a sense of how they stack up. I will be going over the details a little bit more, but you can see they are the same size, basically the same design. Really what you're looking at here are some different materials. So we will talk about that as we go through it, but just so you kind of have that comparison side by side before we get started. So off the bat, this bag right now retailing on Amazon.com for around $130 US, though I did see it go on sale for $107. So make sure to check the link in the description. Grabbing this bag for that price would be really fantastic. It is definitely a more premium price for a backpack of this size. It is 16 liters, so it is not enormous. But one thing I find with the Fjallraven, that even though they are that higher price point, it's because they're built really, really well. They definitely impress me more than some of the other really popular bags that we have reviewed. And I think that these ones actually seem like they stack up to that price. They really are meant to last for a really long time. One of the kind of design concepts that they use is that everything on this bag should last for the lifetime of the bag. So there aren't any like weak links. Some of the bags, the zippers break right away or the straps rip off. And that's not what these bags are about. They're about longevity. So what I will say about this one is that it is a different material than that original Kanken that I was just showing you. That one is Vinylon F, which is kind of their unique material that's very lightweight, water resistant, dirt resistant, kind of like a thin waxy canvas feeling thing. It's something you kind of have to feel. This one feels more like a typical canvas, but it is called G1000 Heavy Duty Eco. Yeah, that's what it's called. G1000 Heavy Duty Eco is the material that they use for this. It is a cotton polyester blend, and it is also water resistant, dirt resistant. It is softer and thicker feeling than the other Kanken, and it comes waxed. So there's this Greenland wax that Kanken uses to give it that like robust water resistance. You can buy that and you can put even more on here if you want it to be even more kind of durable and element proof. So that is one thing about this bag, is that you can wax it. It comes pre-waxed, so you don't have to. But that I think is part of the longevity of the bag, is being able to kind of maintain that water resistance through waxing it. Okay, so another one of the big differences with this bag is that it has leather details. So this is a bit more of the classy Kanken. Maybe if you work in a more professional environment, you want something a little snazzier looking, you'd be looking at this one for sure. The top handles are leather. The logo patch is leather, so it's a little less of that very vibrant white and red Kanken patch that's on the classic one. If that one was a little too much for you, this might be a little bit more appealing. They have this same bag in a few different color options. There's a greenish one. I think there's a blue one, there's this black one. There's also one that everything is black. All the leather is black, the logo patch is black. That one looks very, very cool. I would definitely recommend checking that one out if that's appealing to you, because I think that one would be the perfect way to, use this bag in a very professional setting without it looking too much like a trendy little backpack. Very classy. So I like that about the number 2 version, is that it definitely can be classed up a little more. In terms of the design, same design as the classic Kanken. We have the front pouch here, the rain flaps on all the zippers. Inside this pouch, it's just empty. There's no organizers or anything. There's the little brochure. And so always check that out for some fun facts about these bags. It has these little leather details here. From all I can tell, these are just You know, they look nice. I don't think they have any function, but you can pull on them like that. Maybe when you're zippering. You know what? I think that's what those are for. There we go. We're learning something new. On the sides, we have the very small little pockets. They can fit a very narrow water bottle, kind of snug, but they do fit that narrow water bottle. This is the Zojirushi water bottle. We also have a review of this, but it is definitely, as far as water bottles go, this is a thin one. So they will fit a thin water bottle, but not anything that is quite bigger than that. But they do fit an iPhone really easily. They're good for like tech things, maybe like some snacks. But not large water bottles, which is like a common thing with these Kanken backpacks that I find. They just aren't really designed for a big water bottle on the outside, at least. All right, moving around to the back here. It has the classic straps of the Kanken, these just like thin webbing ones. Again, people do find that these are actually more comfortable than they look. It was designed to be good for your back. If you're gonna like laden this thing with heavy textbooks and stuff, yeah, it's probably gonna hurt after a while because this is very thin. There's no chest strap, there's no waist strap, but it's kind of one of those things where you don't want to, you know, completely eliminate it on this basis, because some people found that this actually felt better on their back than the typical backpacks. So give it a shot. Like the typical Kankens, we have the snaps here and here. So if you want to just carry this from the top like a briefcase, snap this up here, and then these are kind of really like nothing's dangling, nothing's going to fall on the ground, and you can just use it from the top straps. Or if you want to use it as a backpack, you undo that and then you can adjust. I do really like these like very cool metal strap adjusters down here. That is another detail on the classic Kanken. They are plastic. So this is a cool kind of, both a nice visual detail and then also it's metal. So it's pretty durable. That is the outside of the bag. So now let's take a peek inside. Unsnap the top. So like the classic Kanken, this has two zippers. It opens very wide. They go very far. So it's pretty easy to get in here. And it definitely feels like a little suitcase in that sense. I've got like a sweater in here, lap or calculator, a textbook, a full-size big binder, and then I also have a MacBook Air in here. I think if you had just a regular thin MacBook, you'd be okay. But this is the MacBook Air, so it's definitely a very thin laptop, and there's no case on it, but it fits into the back here. So just in general, this bag will hold a 13-inch laptop. Whether or not it will fit into this back pouch is a different matter, because this is like kind of limited. You could just put it in the backpack in its own case if you wanted. But let's talk about the inside of the bag now. So you can see that it's actually very, very deep, which is always a very surprising thing to me with these bags. I think the rectangular shape combined with like one big compartment means that things really do fit in here a lot more than I would have expected. It's 16 liters, but I always am surprised at how much I can pack in there. So we have the label here for your name and your contact, the little classic Swedish flag. And then one thing about the number 2 Kanken is that the seat pad is a little bit more premium. So you can see that G1000, the heavy duty eco fabric, is coating the seat pad. So this is a little bit more of a premium seat pad. So the seat pad is in there for 2 purposes. One is so that anything that's in the backpack does not poke you in your back, which is very nice, but you can also take it out and like sit on it if you're, you know, off on an adventure outdoors and you want something nice and comfy to sit on while you take a break. You've got it in your backpack. So that generally stays in this little pocket here, but in the number 2 one, it's not just this like thin piece of foam. It actually is covered and it looks quite nice. And that's it for the inside. It's very, very basic and simple in there. One thing I will point out is that when it comes to the Kanken number 2, there is another version that is the laptop version. So this is just the like everyday version. There's one that's a laptop version, and that has like a zippered laptop compartment inside. And then the straps on the back, they're not just the thin webbing, they're actually like more like typical padded backpack straps. So if you are going to be carrying your laptop around a lot and you are going to be, you know, wanting something that has a little bit more support on your shoulders, you can check out that laptop version of the number 2. For dimensions, like I said, it's 16 liters in terms of volume. It is 14.9 inches high, 10.6 inches wide, and 5.1 inches deep. The bag by itself weighs 550 grams. The classic Kanken is 300 grams. So this one is definitely heavier when it's empty. The material is thicker. I think that's a really big factor. And then it also has these leather details, which add some weight. So it is a bit more of a robust backpack than the classic one, which is extremely lightweight to my sense, but that's just something important to note. Here is a look at me wearing the bag. For reference, I am 5'6". Okay, pros and cons. I mean, the bag looks cool. There's some really stylish colorways if you want something a little bit more classy. I think in terms of, you know, pockets and stuff, it's minimal, but you do have this one that zippers, which is very nice. And then that one main compartment, even though it doesn't have a lot of organization in it, it fits so much stuff. I'm very impressed by that. So, you know, it's minimal, but it's very practical in that sense. Even though it's heavier than the classic Kanken, it's still a lightweight backpack. The straps, you know, people like it. People say it's comfortable. If you're going to be carrying really, really heavy things, you might want more padding there. You can fit a lot in here, so this bag could get heavy. So that's something to note. I think the leather looks really nice. It feels really nice when you're carrying it. It's definitely a cool looking backpack. It's expensive. If you can get it on sale, it's pretty impressive, but it's definitely a premium price. But it is a durable backpack that you will probably have for many, many, many years. So if you look at it in that sense, the price point isn't actually too bad compared to probably buying like 3 other backpacks over the same lifespan. I do wish the side pockets were bigger and that it was easier to fit like a water bottle or a coffee mug in here. But that's kind of one of my main complaints about this bag. I am very impressed with it. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. All right, so that's my review of the Fjallraven Kanken number 2. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of it. Do you like the Fjallraven bags? I have more reviews of other styles, so please check those out. The links will be below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this and subscribe for a whole lot more really awesome reviews. Have an excellent day, and I'll see you in the next video.